All right, well, we're going to welcome in a guest in just a moment here who we've come to love in this broadcast, and that's because when you work in the news, you got to be able to make fun of yourself. Well, if you watch Saturday Night Live, you have seen a parody of Keith Morrison, who's one of, we think, the funniest people in news. Take a look.
But one night, he just didn't come home.
I looked for him for weeks and weeks. Finally, the police called me and they found his car.
And what did they find when they opened up the trunk of that car?
It was my boyfriend's body.
Oh, my. Was he all right?
No, he was dead.
Oh, no. Then later...
That is Bill Hader as Keith Morrison, one of the great voices. He could be a voice in broadcasting. And that was also Kristen Wiig, the actress there who is originally from Rochester, spent time in Canandaigua growing up. Bill Hader, we mentioned, is part of the new movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and he joins us live as himself. Good morning.
Good morning.
We were just watching you as Keith Morrison. That is our favorite in the newsroom because you skewer the approach some people have in the news. And so I at least have to start there. How do you watch some of these clips on Dateline and other shows and say, this is just perfect to parody, just perfect?
I am a junkie for Dateline. I will rewatch ones that I've already seen. Like, I'll start it and I'm like, oh, this is the one, the husband did it. We're going to watch it again. We sit and watch, my wife and I sit and watch the whole thing. But, yeah, Keith Morrison, that was just something that I did around the house. And my wife was the one that said, you know, you should maybe do that on the show. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's smart.
Well, we love it. And we saw Kristen Wiig, of course, with it. And she is from our area, at least in part, on the cast. What's it like What's it like working with Kristen?
She's great. I mean, she is so humble and so, like, kind of low-key. And then I remember the first time she, did something at the table, I was kind of like, because, she came a couple of shows after a lot of us, and me and Andy and Jason, and so we were, like, trying to help her out. And then her first table where we were like, oh, she's a genius. Oh, okay, she doesn't need our help. It was like, yeah, she's the quarterback. I didn't realize I was talking to the quarterback. I'm sorry. She's amazing. I mean, and she's someone also that can do something different. Every table read, every show, she does something that none of us knew that she could do. She's just so versatile. But at the time, she's very sweet, very, like, good, grounded person.
Well, speaking of versatile, certainly you're versatile with the voice that you do. And tell us about the new movie. I've heard nothing but good things, and our executive producer is quite the film critic and liked it very much. Tell us about it.
Oh, good. I'm glad we passed.
Yes.
It's really it is a really good movie. Yeah, I play a guy, Flint Lockwood. He invents this machine that turns water into food, and it gets shot into outer space, and so it starts to rain food on this town, and it's based on this children's book that I was, like, a huge fan of growing up, and it's just a really, really, really good movie.
And Bill, you're known for the voices you do. We showed Keith Morrison, and that's a great voice. You've done so many. When you go in for a movie or an animated film like that, do they have an idea in mind, or is it more open to your interpretation for where the voice goes?
That's fine. This movie they were like, we want your own voice. It was kind of like, they do this thing in animation where they animate around other people. They take, like, snippets from actors' interviews on television like this. You know what I mean?
Right,
they'll find, an interview with me, and then they'll animate the character around it, and they'll kind of look at it and go, oh, Bill's voice sounds really good. Yeah, so they wanted just my voice, and I'm so used to doing voices that we scrapped my whole first session because I kept on trying to do this and stuff like that, and they were like, no, we just like your voice. I had a hard time just doing my own voice was really difficult.
Well, I've never even heard your actual voice. This is interesting. So real briefly...
I know, this is weird. People go, oh, yeah.
Real briefly, what is your favorite voice to do, Bill?
Keith Morrison or Vinny Vedecci, the Italian guy.
Oh, yeah, that's another great sketch. Very good, yeah. Well,
thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
well, we appreciate your time, and certainly in the movie, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Great job there, and I know a lot of people appreciate it, and we'll be hearing your voice there and seeing you, I'm sure, for years to come, Bill.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll tell Kristen you guys said hi.
Tell her Rochester. Tell her to come back and hang with us in Rochester once in a while. We want the quarterback back in town. You got it. Thanks, Bill.
You need the quarterback back in town.
Bill Hader from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and SNL. We appreciate his time this morning. And we've got much more to come here as well. Coming up next, Janet Jackson's performance of a Michael Jackson song at the VMAs. Stay with us.